Welcome to a moment of intriguing introspection beyond the realms of fear, hesitancy, and doubt. A deep dive into the questions of the ages shared with the courage that may challenge perception, yet teases open the expansive depth of conscious awareness. This is a rare and unique moment in our collective history. And beyond all sense of dogma, I am Master Lady Kira Ra, promising to call forward the essence of all that you are. Join me as I offer the latest self-ascension revelations with supportive wisdom. And why not remember that peace, love, and joy are your birthright? So this is the moment to bring your hand to your heart and to give yourself the gift of relaxing into a deep breath with a wondrous exhale. I look forward to joining you right now in another episode of Expanding Consciousness. Glorious day, everyone, and welcome to Expanding Consciousness. I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and I want to invite you right now to just bring a hand to your heart, if it's safe to do so, of course, and to really give yourself the freedom, the permission, the opportunity to have the clarity that invites an opening, that says yes to a greater understanding, perception, depth, awareness of consciousness itself. Really exhale on that. Just a nice deep breath in and out, hand on heart. Ooh, that availability that comes forward when we are clear. That moment of clarity that is undeniable. That moment where we become the clarity itself in motion. Really breathe that in, clarity itself in motion. Because that's what we're diving into. We're diving into clarity in motion. And what does that mean? And what does that do for you? And how does that support the essence of all that you are in this moment right now? And I want you to just kind of take that in right now as I do invite you to remember that please learn more about everything that I'm sharing with you and everything that you're ready to know. And just visit sriandkira.com, SRIANDKIRA.com. And we're updating constantly. There's thousands of pages of free material there, years and years of predictions and things that are waiting for you right now. And I really encourage you to check the website out. And while you're there, I really invite you to pay attention to the fact that right now, if you're catching this episode in July 2024, you have an opportunity to be there, to be part of this live expansion that is happening on behalf of yourself, of your children, of humanity, of this experience. We are at a moment where the alchemical transformation is happening with such rapidity, with such commonplace, that it is being normalized beyond the perceptive filters of the cognizant brain, meaning that everything is being skim-coated, everything is being shortcutted. However, in this moment right now, if you were to just take a breath and sit back, I'm going to bring in that word again, clarity, right? And you sit back and you witness it from the outside. Pull yourself outside of all of it and witness it. You notice that things are happening beyond just a single focused or a singular visionary way to look at them. Everything is shifting because the alchemies themselves are weaving. Because we are right now at a moment of extraordinary uplevel. Extraordinary uplevel. And in that moment of extraordinary uplevel, clarity is your greatest ally. And clarity comes when we are free to be. When we are free to remember who we are. And that we give ourselves the gift of that remembrance is the greatest blessing. Taking a deep breath right now. And I want to bring you on a journey of clarity. Because, what is clarity, right? Well, clarity especially the clarity in this field of potentiality and the way that we get clear and the way that we look at things in this world right now. And if you ever want greater clarity, send me a note. Let's chat. So the clarity of this potentiality right now as the ignition of alchemical shift, and I want you to hear that clarity in this specific experience of having a body, in this specific experience of having a life in front of you right now, clarity is ignition, it's fuel. Because when you have clarity, you are no longer carrying fear, doubt, and hesitancy, which are the seeds of self-sabotage constantly. Fear, doubt, hesitancy, fear, doubt, hesitancy. It's just a constant, continual loop. And in order to really break free of that, there comes this moment where you build. Clarity is something that builds, and I'm going to walk you through it. And it really is right in front of you. There are elements to it. We're going to go through every one of the elements, and they build upon the other. And as each one of these ignites, that self-sabotage loop of fear, doubt, and hesitancy relaxes. And it begins to make way for the invitation that we were at just a moment ago. The invitation to the self to expand for a moment outside of a mind that would seek to question you, to stop you, that would continually self-implode, self-implode, self-implode. Have you ever been stuck in that mentalizing loop, right? Or you're hearing material that somewhere deep inside of you, you really want to know more, you really get it, but then there's this other loop over here that's going, no, don't go there, stay here, stay here, stay here. We often become a partner in pain with our own mind. I want you to really breathe that in, because that's one of the greatest traps of clarity, is when you become a partner in pain with your own mind. Shri and I, in our very first book, which is still in print, has been in continual print now for 20 years, in Sacred Union, The Journey Home, Archangel Zadkiel talks about the mind as the sly pirate, and that it will do anything and everything to stop you. And I really encourage you to consider that you are the commander. Your mind is the servant. And when your mind sees that there's no master, the servant rules. This is really important, because clarity, true clarity, the clarity that calls forward the initiative, and I want you to really hear that word, the true clarity that calls forward the initiative is that which calls forward into action right now, the creation. Clarity is creation. Creation comes through the initiative of our clarity. It's that initiation, right? To initiate action, to initiate activity, to call in the vision, to initiate it into form, to be an initiator, the one who seemingly makes things come forward from nothing, the one who might make it look easy because all the other work's happening over here. When we have clarity, the first thing that clarity is built upon is our confidence. And I want you to just notice, as I even shared that word with you, confidence. When you hear the word confidence, just relax into what you're noticing outside of the judgment or thinking it's anything or quickly dismissing. Because in order to have the clarity that calls forward that initiative experience of being in a body of form, it begins with the confidence. And this is not that confidence of the illusion. This is not that confidence that's egocentric. This is the confidence in the knowing of your eternal nature. It's the confidence that knows I am as you are, that I am an eternal being, that you are, I am, we each are. And that the blessing, the absolute blessing of this very moment is that with this breath, let's just take in one conscious Ave Sa breath. Let's go in and smile. We are already further right now than we have ever been before. when it comes to our ability to carry conscious awareness in form, to be able to mold the body of form, to be able to reverse age, to be able to call forward every single thing that is needed to sustain, to sincerely sustain the essence of your divine nature through clarity. That's the confidence. It doesn't mean that you have to feel that there's nothing to learn. Quite the opposite. It's the moment where you realize that the learning is eternal and the fun and the excitement, right? It's the moment of confidence that calls that initiation, that every single action is being divinely guided. It is the living essence of I am here. Be of neutrality, receiving, being, knowing. It is the smile that relaxes into the witnessing through the compassion of this experience that lifts us up through non-judgment to be aware of the living energy, the clarity of the energy of forgive them, they know not what they do. Love them, they know not what they do. Now really breathe that in, because I hear some of you holding your breath as I say that. I do, and I'm feeling it. Wow, I'm going to need to take a sip of something. Hold on a minute, guys. I feel you. Wow. Okay. Ooh, let's breathe through that. So here's an important discernment, because as we grow, as our consciousness grows, as our clarity in motion expands, we also begin to really embody our discernment. Discernment. Discernment is a profound gift. Discernment comes forward frequently in this realm of potentiality through a situation that resolved, and in the witnessing of the resolution, there is an awareness that comes in as a discernment. Thereby, it's an edification, it's an expansion, it's a remembrance. And so your discernment, your spiritual discernment, becomes the recognition that in the forgive them, they know not what they do. In the love them, they know not what they do. It does not mean they are immune from ramifications. Quite the contrary. Remember that we exist in this body of form in what many would quantify as call a third dimension. All right, let's just throw it out there. So let's use third dimension. Density, very, very dense. Everything that's constantly in motion is coming together as close as it can to make us believe that all this is real, right? That all this stuff is real. Third dimension. And when we're born into the third dimension, our confidence is pretty much crushed, because we are born into a situation where we can't even survive without others. Thereby, we immediately learn the fear of not having that happen. And thereby, the self-sabotage cycle begins. We become attached to the planetary thought body, and that's all part of the journey. That's what the third dimension is all about. That's why it's here. And so when we're navigating the third dimension, there comes a moment, especially if you're connecting with expanding consciousness, right? There comes a moment where you become aware of the bigger moment outside of just you. It goes from that me to a we. And you become aware of the fact that others can be affected by your actions, and that there is a sense of desire. It's really a desire to want to do more than just make it be about the self, or to have this sense of belonging, right? But that's when we step into something known as spiritual activism. And spiritual activism is a very powerful moment, because it brings us to the stepping stone of clarity. So in that confidence and that moving in, and especially when you move into spiritual activism, you find confidence with your group of activistic experiences. Because remember that activism is a response. It's a response to something, and it's based out of reaction, and it's based upon fear or anger or hate. And remember, fear plus anger equals hate. And so any of those variables has them moving as their own little trinity, right? Because, all energy is neutral. So the gift of spiritual activism is it ignites love. And this is going back to that spiritual discernment, because There is an essence of love. There is the understanding of love. There is that third dimensional love. There is that essence of moving forward. But in all of this, and I'm going to keep going back, I just keep tying a ribbon around this, right? In all of this, what is so valuable to remember is that if you are carrying a seventh dimensional frequency of non-judgment, thereby sustaining the field of the walking essence of that experience, it does not mean whatever's happening in the third dimensional field will not have its own balance. Every single one of these dimensional experiences, of the potentialities of everything, whatever nomenclature works for you, every one of them has their own system, their own experience, their own series, whatever word feels good, that calls in balance. At the end of the day, harmonic balance will always be achieved. And that's why in the transcendent nature and the clarity and the confidence and the love that has ascended from a very physically attached emotional experience, right? Very, very different from the transcendent experience and the recognition of the greater love, yet fully aware of all of it. Really take that in, because that's clarity. Clarity is when you're really fully aware of all of it and able to navigate all of that while in this body of form. Now, taking a breath on that, because I know that can sound kind of wild. So consider that you have this confidence that's coming from the absolute awareness, your foundation. You've moved from that density experience, that third dimensional experience. You've moved into that spiritual activism experience. And the gift of the love of the spiritual activist experience is that it will push you forward. It will push you forward one way or another. Where you're going is up to you, but it's going to push you forward from where you were. Where you wind up is the journey, right? And that's the next stepping stone of your clarity. It's that active presence. It's that initiative that I was talking about. It's active, it's activity. It's the application of that confidence, of that love, of bringing that into your life, into the active presence of all that you are all the time. Because what this is all bringing you to is what is really the key and the moment that we're at right now. This month of July 2024, I'm timestamping into this episode. Remember that this podcast, Expanding Consciousness, I am doing as a library. This is literally meant to be a consciousness library, whether you are catching this in the years that they're created, whether you're catching this 100 years, 1,000 years, whenever you're catching this in whatever cosmic experience, I knew you were coming. And that's why I did this. And if it was just for you, then it was worth it. Because right now, and in July 2024, in the energy of 3 meteor showers that are going to have a convergence unlike any we've ever seen on this planet before, your ability to remember, and that's your stepping stone to clarity, remembrance, your ability to remember, and to remember through the confidence and the love and the active awareness, all of that is leading you to know that the more that you're remembering, you're not crazy, you're remembering. There are points on this body that you can touch. There are mantras that you can say. There are arcanes to be shared. You know, a quick digression. My husband and I are very blessed to be the sacred keepers of some very ancient Egyptian arcanes. And I was very, very grateful that Sri was granted such extraordinary access to the pyramids and that we were able to actualize everything he needed to do before he transcended. And that's probably why he transcended. It was that important. But as we are coming together right now, the invitation by the Ascended Masters for me to teach these arcanes, and I have the original manuscripts, we started to do this a few years ago, and the universe came in and said, stop, they are not ready. Now they are flooding me. They are flooding you. That's why you're connecting. You are ready. And so on July 23, go to shriankira.com, learn how to weave the alchemies. Remember how to do this. Remember how to ignite what's going on inside of you, because in the energy of the clarity, in the energy of what's happening right now, in the cosmic bombardment of what's coming forward. And I'm going to be doing a lot more episodes about this because it's part of this encyclopedia galactica for ascension that I'm trying as fast as I can to get on the planet. Your remembrance is in the fact that you are immortal, you are infinite, and that you are capable without any kind of devices or God knows whatever special potions. You are capable to be able to activate your immortal self, your infinite presence. It is possible. It's not hard. And that's what I'm being honored to share with you starting July 23rd. And when you do that, you're going to start noticing, and I'm noticing a lot of you breathe. A lot of you, as I'm sharing this, breathe right now. Notice if you're holding your breath. Notice what you're noticing as I'm even sharing this with you. Whew, take a nice breath, right? In your clarity. So consider that you are sitting in this energy of confidence. You are in this energy of love that has gone through this discernment, that is really aware of third dimensional love and all of that extraordinary experiences. And fifth dimensional love is an experience of compassion. And the seventh dimensional experience of non-judgment, where love transcends into the greater love of the allness outside of any sense of a me. In that field where the active presence becomes overwhelming, where you are aware, you are so aware that when the remembrance comes in, you don't doubt it. You don't doubt it. And that's the key. And that can't come unless you have that initial confidence. This is how we sustain our clarity. Because it's in that remembrance, which is what's happening this month. This is the month where I'm just out there saying, let it be easy. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Be there July 23. Be there at Monday Mastery. Be there at the monthly predictions. Just be there. Get the app, right? Spiritual Mastery with Sri and Kira. It's free. Download it. Get the gift of your immortal infinite presence all around you. If you have ever dreamt it, if you have ever visioned it, if you have ever felt it, if you've ever carried something that was so real and you've ever wondered why it didn't happen, it has. It has. You're watching it. It's just in a potentiality that's so close to you. And this is the key. It's your clarity that will pull that into this potentiality. Because if it's close enough in a potentiality that you're visioning it, you're seeing it, you're not crazy and you're not imagining things. You are calling forward the divine presence of you. This is what I am as you are. When my beloved Sri Ramka left, his desire, his knowing was that he would be able to fully offer to me the blessing of our one immortal soul into this body, fully as one, rather than split between two, to demonstrate and show for you that you are capable of doing this as well. Whether or not you had a soul in body, and those of you that are unions do, but to have that come in is the conscious awareness of the third, the fifth, the seventh, and then the ninth. When we lift out of the field of the seventh dimension as the witness again, in the transcendent knowing of the clarity, living in the clarity, knowing nothing can ever take that, because that's what trust is. And it is the blessing, right? The attainment of that steadfast commitment, focused awareness. What do we get? We get complete trust. Steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. In the knowing and the complete trust of your immortal presence, which I have to admit, I had a shortcut when I died in 1989, the first time when I died of cancer. I was very, very blessed to have the gift of my near-death experience, which was a very unique one and very different than most, at a time when people weren't talking about near-death experiences, and it was really quite extraordinary to navigate. But the gift of that is that the one thing that has always been with me ever since is the knowing. It's not that you rush to leave this body of form, far from it. It's just walking forward with the absolute knowing that this is but the illusion. This is a gift that is ours to co-create with, that you are not bound or limited by any one thing that tells you you are, other than what your mind wants to create as that reality for you. And so when you're in that full remembrance of your immortal self and your trust is complete, guess what you discover on the other end? You. It's just a big circle, isn't it? Right? We have our confidence, our love, the active awareness, that remembrance of our infinite immortal presence, bringing us to the trust, which is you, which is confidence, which is love. Do you see it? You see how it comes all around? And if you haven't caught on already, that actually does spell clarity, right? Confidence, love, active remembrance, immortal trust, you. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Right now, clarity is in motion. You are the initiator. You are the initiate. You are the one that is navigating alchemical shift. And that alchemical shift through your clarity is giving you the absolute ability to access limitless wisdom, eternal wisdom that has been yours to access forever. The remembrance of the language codes, the remembrance of all of the mystical and ancient incredible gifts that you have done before and do know are right in front of you. You found this expanding consciousness episode because that's exactly where you are. Now, what's your mind trying to do with that? Because that's the smile at the end of the day, isn't it? Who's the commander? Remember, it's a fly pirate, and you're the commander of this ship. You are extraordinary. I, with all my heart, invite you once again, go to SriAndKira.com, SriAndKira.com. Really check it out and give yourself the gift of being there 2 Mondays a month. Learn more, go deeper, discover what Monday Mastery is all about, and activate your mastery presence. Say yes to that which you are. And check out Weaving the Alchemies. You know how to do it. And when you remember it in, and that's what we're going to do, is guide ourselves right back into that remembrance. I'm going to be using the ancient arcanes. I'm going to be showing you some actual physical experiences as we're weaving it all together in this month of July. May your heart know that you are really ready and that the universe is looking at you, congratulating you, clapping for you, and saying, keep going. You deserve, because you were born. I love you, and I really look forward to being with you again really soon. With all my heart, namaste. Thank you for joining me on Expanding Consciousness. Learn more about the Yoga of Self-Ascension at SriAndKira.com, and make sure you're subscribed to YouTube official Sri and Kira. Remember, you are the gift. I love you and look forward to being with you again. Namaste.